Hello and welcome to more Vintage Cube Draft. We got some good cards in this pack, actually, like a lot of good cards. We have Raphellos, Smuggler's Copter, Inquisition, Cloudscape, Ponder, Blooded Strand, Urza, Brazen Borrower. And Entomb actually is a pretty good option too. That's a lot of good cards. I don't know what to take. I'm leaning towards, I really don't like Reanimator, but Entomb is like the best card for Reanimator, and if you get it early you can build around it, so that's an option. I think Ponder or Flooded Strand are the safest. I could take Inquisition, although taking Inquisition and passing Entomb is kind of a losing proposition. I could take Smuggler's Copter and go Creatures, but I don't really want to do that. I think I'm just going to take Ponder. I think Ponder leads to like the most fun decks and it goes in anything, and you can do a lot of different things with that. If I take Entomb here, like my biggest problem with Reanimator as an archetype is that all the cards in Reanimator are typically kind of weak in other decks. I know people pointed out Entomb is good with like Crucible of Worlds and things like that, but it's like Entomb with Crucible is just fine. It's not like amazing or anything. Whereas like if you take Ponder, and Ponder with Crucible is, you know, a similar power level where it helps you find Crucible or the other combos, like it's just good in many different decks. Little Teferi is very good. I think he's probably what I'm going to take. He's just such a strong tempo play. The other options are Muldrift or Impulse, which I think are really good. And then maybe like Thief of Sanity or... I actually like Shadow Skull Smashing quite a bit. It's just a land, but I think we're just going to take Little Tefs. See what happens there. Commit Memory is so much worse than Mystic Confluence that it's kind of tragic, but it's okay. We can take Gush. I'm leaning towards Walking Ballista too. I think this card pretty versatile and good in a lot of different decks. It's good as like a Artifacts payoff. It's just good in a creature deck that needs removal. I think it's at its worst in low to the ground decks. Basically, if you can cast this for 4 mana somewhat reliably, then I think it's a pretty solid card. So I could take that and pass Commit Memory. I mean, this card is 4 mana. It's kind of slow. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Ballista and stay open, I think. Monastery Mentor and Geist of Saint Traft. I do actually really enjoy some Goose action. There's not a whole lot else. I mean, I think obviously the pickup here would be Monastery Mentor Wheelgeist, but I'm down to try it. Blue-white Mentor Geist. Oh no. We got Rishadan Port, Council's Judgment, and Selfless Spirit all in the same pack. Thought used to be Hole Breacher, I think. This card I have yet to see in play. It's a cool idea. I think it's more fun in Commander than anything else. I'm really leaning towards Rishadan Port or Council's Judgment. I think I'm gonna take the Judgment. There's like a tiny chance that Rishadan Port comes around. And I think there's like a 0% chance that this comes around. We're also leaning towards being white, especially now that we just wheeled past Exile. I know Crucible is great, and like Type Taker has the highest win rate or whatever, but I think this is fine. Here we can pick up a Miscalc, some cheap interaction. Linval is great. I love Birthing Pod too, but you need the 2-mana interactive spells. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition. I love this card. There's also Chrome Mox, which I think is also fantastic in decks like this, but I think I've been so impressed with the Apparition, I've yet to be able to play it myself. So I'm happy to pick that up. We even get to wheel a Smuggler's Copter. I love Riftwing. Hero Bladehold's okay. Entomb came around. That's something. But we're just going to take the Copter. It's like so strong on turn 2. And the other benefit of taking Copter is like if blue ends up being very cut. Because like right now we have literally 3 blue cards. This Copter is great in mono white as well. And Giver of Runes wheels, pretty easy. I guess red is also open, so another option could be taking like Shatter Skull Smashing and moving into red-white, but I think Giver of Runes is good enough that there's no reason to take another card there. It's just worth noting that out of all the colors, like Mardu seems to be the most open. I haven't seen like any green as far as I can tell, and blue. We have 3 blue cards. Probably what's going to end up happening is I cut Ponder Miscalc and just splash Teferi. I think Teferi is just such a good splash. I dislike the card design because it's unfun, but when you're playing him, like even without his like uptick or his static ability, just -3, return something to your owner's hand to draw a card, and then he stays in play is so good. Wow, and we get Mother of Runes too. That's really nice. Nighthawk Scavenger is good too, but Mom is like the premium white card. You just play your turn 1 and like every creature matchup is now you win. It's so good. This deck would really benefit from Mox Pearl because we have a lot of 3-drops. They're all fantastic, but I guess right now Monastery Mentor is a bit medium. But I like the rest of the deck. I'm gonna actually keep Walking Ballista as a 4-drop because You really do want to cast it on 4 while we get the Goose and Winds. Right now we have Path and Council Judgment. I'm going to take Geist. I think Winds of Abandon is probably a better card, but I don't really get to play with Geist to Saint Draft that much, so I'm just going to take it for fun. You got to make concessions when drafting Cube. And I think that one was fine. Wow, Selfless Spirit and Rishadan Port came around. I'm actually going to take Rishadan Port over Selfless Spirit, and that might seem crazy, but basically it's looking like I'm going to get enough playables, right? I have every single pickup will probably end up in my deck. Like, now that I took Geist, we'll probably play everything except for maybe Monastery Mentor. Wow, we get these two. Tithe Taker, Hangerback. I'll take the Taker, I guess. I don't know. It would have been nice to wheel Honor of the Pure, because I think that card is so good with Monastery Mentor. But I don't... We get Linvala, yeah. This is... anyway, so we're going to have enough playables. We literally picked 15 cards, and all of them will be like totally fine inclusions in our deck. The thing you need to incentivize when you're drafting the open archetype is to get maximum value out of your picks. Like, basically, let's say this trend continues, right? And we're taking Fraction Identity for sure. Hopefully wheeling Thraben Inspector, maybe? Let's say this trend continues, though. We get max value out of every single pick. We end up with 45 playables. If we don't take lands, we're going to have to cut half of those anyway. So you might as well take cards that are going to be extra additions to your deck outside of having essentially infinite playables in your pool. Is this a balanced deck? I think no. I have so many creatures. I think it's probably a Phantasmal Image deck, Azorius Signet deck, or Misty Rainforest. I think I kind of want to lean towards Misty Rainforest because I really want to get a blue-white duel on this deck. Like, the mana requirements of the deck are pretty hefty. So I'm going to speculate on this, hoping that we can find a Tundra or something like that. Because I can't really play Phantasmal Image without fixing anyway, and I don't think Azorius Signet is the type of fixing that we're necessarily looking for. And the upside of taking Misty is like, now we could potentially splash a Lingering Souls if we want to. Because I don't think I'm playing Day of Judgment, definitely not playing Bazaar. So I'll speculate on a Lingering Souls even if I don't end up playing it. It's just a pretty solid card. Here we have Gideon, Mazavith. There's Reanimate to go with Entomb. Vryn Wingmare is decent. I'm just going to take Gideon. It's one of the best threats in white. Oh, wow. Friction Revoker, Spectral Procession, Gideon Jared Disenchant, and maybe to a lesser effect, Seagate Stormcaller Pestermite. I think I'm leaning towards Phyrexian Revoker. Just the more I play with this card, the higher it goes in my evaluations. It kills a Planeswalker, it stops their mana. It's just really good, and like, there's 11 cards left, so there's a chance that we get Spectral Procession on the wheel. Whereas, like, at least there should be no chance that we wheel Phyrexian Revoker because it's colorless. But it's just, every time I like have it in my hand or play it, it's just good. Oh no. So many good options here. Gideon Blackblade and Jite, I think, are like the two best things. I'm leaning towards Jite just because it absolutely destroys matchups, but I really do enjoy Gideon Blackblade as well. I think for curve consideration, I'm going to take the 2-drop, and I think there's a chance Gideon comes around. There's going to be like 1 or 2 cards left in the pack. And it's probably going to be like Krark plus Kroxa, but white was very open. We got a last pick Linvala, and I think Linvala, I don't know, is similar to Gideon in terms of like where people would take her. So if we're literally the only person drafting white, there's a tiny chance we can get Gideon. Here we have Containment Priest, Plateau. Doesn't really do anything. Yorian's okay. Field of Ruin is fine. So I guess I take a Maria's Call. It's hard. I mean, Containment Priest is a really good sideboard card in some matchups. It's also a 2-drop. I really don't like this card. It's fine, like, it's not bad because it's just a land most of the time, but it's so marginal on like the games that it impacts. I just don't enjoy that being in the queue. I'd rather have this be a card you're excited to pick up. I think I'm going to take Containment Priest. It's really good in some matchups, and at the very least, like, it helps our curve along. Like, we just need a critical mass of creatures. Okay, well, there's Silverblade Paladin, Benevolent Bodyguard. I keep seeing this and I keep wondering what deck it's for, and I still don't think it's this deck. I'm going to take Mana Leak. We're just kind of hoping that we can find enablers. Ooh, okay, now we have to decide between Thraben Inspector and Elspeth. Thraben Inspector is a pretty nice 1-drop and it helps smooth out our curve. Elspeth is a good payoff. I already have enough 3s though, so I think I just want to make sure I get smooth games. We could take Recruiter, maybe not playing that card. Here I'll take Day of Judgment for the sideboard. This is a decent sideboard card against decks like Mono Green, where like we can just play the Planeswalker deck. Here we get Vryn Wingmare, which is actually pretty good. We have everything we want, except for fixing. I haven't seen a single blue-white duel. At least, I haven't seen it. Like, maybe they're in the packs and I didn't notice it, because I took, like... I think you take Fractured Identity over a blue-white dual land, but at this point, my deck is finished. I'm just trying to think. I would take Ancestral Time Walk would be my top 2. Tundra would be, like, the 3rd. Swords to Plowshares would be good. Wow. Sometimes you get everything. I kind of want to take Gideon. He's so good in some matchups. Yeah, we did it. All right, we are so... So this is what it looks like when you identify the open lane. Holy moly. That's honestly unbelievable. Not like this is a huge pickup, but it's just funny that it was literally last. I'm going to take Marsh Flats, I think. I know Blade Splicer is good, but we have infinite playables, and essentially we're all in on finding Tundra, because I don't think... Wow, these packs. I don't think anyone would take a Tundra given how open white is, so we just have to hope that we find one, and now we have 2 fetches that can get it. And if we can get a single blue-white dual, our mana is going to be great. The other option we have is basically just like cutting Ponder, Miscalc, Mana Leak, Geist, and then like barely splashing our white cards. Here I think I take Thalia and try and wheel a Danto Vanguard. I don't think anyone's taking... There it is! Okay, we just take Tundra. It's perfect. Okay, now our deck's very good. We'll see if I can get more fixing. I don't know about Ponder just yet, but there's okay. I'm going to take Oust and wheel Baneslayer Angel, I think. This deck is insane now. We'll see about Monastery Mentor. I definitely want maybe... Well... This is the tough thing, right? We have Thalia Vryn Wingmare, so I don't even know if we want Mana Leak. But at least our Teferi and Fractured Identity are a pretty easy splash, at least. But this deck is disgusting. It's so good. Control Magic is interesting. How much removal do I have right now? Path, Oust is not really removal. I have a couple counter spells. I mean, this is very good if you're trying to beat down, but I don't think I'm going to have double blue, so we'll just take Fate's Fetters. It's a fine card. Probably too expensive in the Thalia Vryn Wingmare deck. Ooh, Colonnade is fantastic. Definitely picking that up. It just helps you win late games so so well, and maybe we can pick up Condemn or even Sun Titan would be kind of good here, but we're going deep on fixing. I'm a bit worried about Misty Rainforest considering it only finds 1 land in our deck. But we'll see. Ooh, Unexpectedly Absent. I would actually love to fit Cryptic Command into this deck, but there's just no way. Absent's actually a really good card though. It's kind of as close as white will get to Time Walk being printed. And now we need to really start making cuts. I don't think I want to main deck Fate's Fetters now that I have better removal. Same with Linvala, same with Gideon. I just am trying to avoid 5-drops because I have Thalia Vryn Wingmare. I'd rather play creatures. I think I like at least having 1 Mana Leak. Having a tiny bit of disruption goes a really long way. Right now we have Oust, Path, Mana Leak. I have some things that can trigger Mentor, so we'll consider him, but I think Geist is kind of probably better for what we're doing, maybe? Oh, wow. Legion's Landing and Mutavault. I do really like Legion's Landing, but I think this deck wants Mutavault. You really want... The same reason I took Rishadan Port earlier is, like, you just have to maximize the number of, like, useful cards you get into your deck. Because at Legion's Landing, we would have to cut something. It would be good. I guess there's a 0% chance it comes around because of where it was in the packs, but it would have been sick in our deck. There's also a chance I play Blade Splicer instead of Vryn Wingmare, and that lets me play more like Gideon Fractured Identity type effects. Because my deck actually has a lot of non-creature spells, and I don't want to tax myself too much, so I think maybe I'll start Vryn in the sideboard, and then against like Storm or Control I can bring it in. That seems fine. Then I can put Gideon back in. Or maybe I just play Mana Leak and Miscalc. That could be fine. I have too many good cards. I don't know what to take. Oh, if I can get I think there was a Godless Shrine somewhere in the pack. If I can get 1 Black Source for Lingering Souls, that would also be really nice. Oh, I forgot about Vanguard. This card is insane too. Land Tax Elish Norn. I don't think we're going to be Elish Norning, but I also don't think we're going to be land taxing, so I'll just take this. Baneslayer Angels, fine sideboard. I mean, we could play a full-blown Yorion deck. I think we have so many playables here. I think every single card we took was... Wait, yeah, we have no sideboard. Every single card, we'll see what happens in the last pick. But so far, no, they ruined it. We got 44 useful pickups for our deck, and then 1 Faithless Looting. That's actually absurd, especially the last picks. So that's a land 2. I don't know if I want to main deck Ponder. Condemn is only good in like reactive decks. I had all my cards sorted and then it put it together, which is kind of frustrating. I don't think I main deck Linvala. Lyra Baneslayer good against green. Unexpectedly goes here. Ballista goes there. I don't think I'll play Lingering Souls or Recruit of the Guard or Vryn Wingmare. Honestly, Geist is probably weak. I can bring Geist in against the deck that I bring Vryn Wingmare in against. We'll see though. I could be wrong. Jite absent. Tithe Taker Thalia. I do have Mother of Runes and Giver of Runes though. We'll bring in Geist. Cut Monastery Mentor. Maybe I again bring in Gideon against some things. We're just trying to lower the curve. Faith's Fetters. No, I don't really need Faith's Fetters. Blade Splicer's aggressive, which I like. And I think this deck I can run 16 land quite reasonably. I normally run a few too many, but like my curve's so low that if I get stuck on 3 mana, I think that's fine. So we sort by CMC. I think I add 1 island. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 white sources, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue sources. That seems alright. That could be a consideration for cutting Geist. It's just, it's harder to cast. And like, let's count the mentor targets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-ish. I could just bring in Ponder, actually. Although, that doesn't really work for the reason why I cut Geist. So, let's just keep Geist, cut Ponder, and run it like this. See you guys round 1. Alright, we're playing against RB Crow. Yeah, this hand's great. I'm going to keep. We can go turn 1 Amaria's Call. Uh-oh. Well, miscalc's pretty bad, but we have a good sideboard against mono red. We'll go up to 17 lands, bring in Baneslayer Angel and the other one. We can play Mary's Call tapped. So that's not a big deal. Just a little worried about my like turn 2 play. Geist is okay against mono red actually because it has hexproof and mono red has a hard time dealing with it. Just playing Zergo. Okay. How do I sequence this? I don't think I want to play Smuggler's Copter. I think I want to interact. I'm just going to play Marshallats and pass. Then, depending on what they do, I will either miscalc or unexpectedly absent. But I think I take the hit from their attacks first. Because now, end of turn. Yeah, it ended up being pretty bad, but that's okay. We Tundra, then we unexpectedly absent, putting Zergo on top. But this just kind of makes sure they don't get to play a spell this turn. I don't know if they want to copy this. Do they? I don't think they wanted to do that. I guess they could just double target Zergo, but if they mess up and accidentally hit Monastery Swiftspear, like, then they just lose both of their things. This could not have gone any better for me. Basically, they just spent 2 mana, discard a card with a chance. Ah, man, they figured it out. They did fizzle my unexpectedly absent, so there's that. Ooh, Gideon coming down is nice. So let's go Mutavault into Geist. If Geist honestly just blocks and dies, that's not the worst thing that could happen. Because we got Gideon coming down next turn. I will block. They've stuttered for long enough that I'm going to block Monastery Swiftspear. If they stuttered to like convince me that they're not sure if they have a burn spell, they got me. But like basically, if they have a burn spell like Lightning Bolt, they're gonna point it at my face anyway. And this makes them play off curve. I'm blocking. Alright, they kind of got me. Because they can still play Zergo. Yeah, that was maybe bad. But they did wait for a second to see if they wanted to. And it would have been awesome if they didn't have anything and I just got them. Ooh, Apparition's really nice. I think for curve efficiency, we're just going to play Gideon. Make a Knight. If they have a burn spell, they can kill Gideon. But that was the other reason for blocking. Is they could have just charred my Gideon and killed him. So actually I think this ended up better. And they don't attack. Nice. So now we could just start creating an army of knights. I could also uptick Gideon. That makes him harder to kill. But I think the knight army might work out better. Let's do this. Then we go land, Copter. They have 1 card in hand. Oh, and they can't even block with Zergo. That's sweet. Let's attack with the knight. And then I have Mutavault crewing the Copter. Okay, we will not counter Abbot. They have one card in hand and I don't know what it is. Interesting. Alright, let's crew the Copter. Oh, they're attacking with both. Very interesting. Let's crew the Copter with Mutavault. I'd rather lose a Knight than Mutavault. And then block 3/3 on the 2/2 and 2/2 on the 1/2. Or, I guess this block just makes more sense. Draw, discard Misty Rainforest. I don't really need more lands. I was gonna cycle Miscalc, but what do they have as their last? Oh, that's just okay. They're dead. They're very dead here. Let's go Skyclave Apparition, Eating Abbot. Use that to crew the Copter. Respect the opponent for still playing this out. And I guess I'll just hold up Miscalc. There's no reason to attack with Mutavault here. They're very dead anyway. Card Plains. Ooh, Thalia is nice too. I don't really want them to know about Thalia. They're at 5 and like the craziest thing they could do is play like a Thundermaw, which is now not really possible because of Miscalc. Azereth the Fervent. Let's Miscalc that. It kind of tells them that it's there, but it also just taps them out. They just concede, okay? They're dead anyway. So against red, bringing in Lyra Dawnbringer, Baneslayer Angel, Gideon Jura. Linvala has 4 toughness, which is pretty nice. Cutting this for a land. I think I'm getting rid of all my counterspells. Getting rid of Geist. That way we can be a bit more proactive. Phyrexian Revoker is a little bit medium. Face Fetters is very good. I guess Condemn is fine too. It's like basically we have Lyra Dawnbringer Baneslayer, so like the late game super favors us. What else do I want? Thalia having First Strike is okay, but she actually punishes me a decent bit too. And I could see getting rid of a Danto Vanguard because it's a bit weak. This makes my deck a lot more reactive than proactive, but oh, I want more lands, right? I want a plains. But I think I can handle being that reactive. I could cut Containment Priest for Monastery Mentor. Because like, if this goes off, it's going to be very good. And I have quite a few non-creature spells now. I don't think I love Elish Norn in this matchup. Oh, what does Recruit of the Guard do? Target creature with toughness 2 or less. I can grab a Skyclave Apparition. And a Blade Splicer. No, I think I like Mentor. I need to make one more cut. And what will it be? Gideon gives lifelink, so I like that. I guess it's just Mentor. Yeah, let's run it like that. And here's a perfectly good hand. Skyclave Apparition's a bit sketchy. You don't really want to like run it out too early against mono red, because like you play it, steal their thing. Well, it's good against Grim Lavamancer actually. You play it, steal their thing, and then they kill it, and they get their creature back. I'm pretty happy with them just attacking like that. Don't play another thing? Nice. There's the Baneslayer. So we can Walking Ballista and just kill the Grim, but I think I'd rather get down Smuggler's Copter because it's so good. And then I can do something like Walking Ballista, kill Grim Lavamancer, crew Copter. I'm actually okay with that as well. Because a Braid, like, that's one less thing that deals with my Skyclave Apparition. Ooh, that's pretty good. What do I want to do? If I had blue, Teferi would be pretty nice. I think we're going to just Walking Ballista here for 2. See if they kill it. No. Yeah, let's just kill this now. I kind of want to save Skyclave for like a Hellrider or a Karn or something. They play their land tapped. Nice. Let's draw a blue source. That's a blue source. Marsh Flats, fetch a Tundra. Play Teferi. They can't even bolt him in response is the beautiful part. And then I can uptick and have oust at instant speed, which is just going to be disgusting. Go ahead. So now if they just go like Hazoret, we just oust. And then any land we draw is obviously Baneslayer territory. We could theoretically play our Skyclave and then bounce it. That seems not like the most ideal thing. They Firebolt Teferi, then do they Bolt Teferi? Please be a haste creature. Oh man, that's acceptable. That's a lot of burn that's just completely gone now. And we have this now. Good luck. You concede? I'm trying to think like what would get them out of this. It would have to be like double burn spell again. The classic Glorybringer versus Baneslayer Angel dilemma. That's actually pretty funny. Let's just Council Judgment the Glorybringer. Or I guess that was their best play last turn, right? No, let's Council Judgment. That seems fine. I don't want it eating my Skyclave Apparition. Then we attack for 5, and then Basically, anything they play, we can unexpectedly absent, but they already conceded. See you guys next round. Oh, right, we're playing against Duress Please on the play. Oh, land please. This hand would be so good with a land. I can't keep it though, it's too greedy. I will keep this hand, and we're gonna bottom... Oh, this would be such a good hand to not have to bottom anything for. I'm gonna keep. I guess I just bottom Gideon. I have Smuggler's Copter, so I'm going to be discarding lands. And like, having creatures plus removals, not the worst place to be. I was kind of hoping they would turn one duress me. And I'm not gonna fetch, because drawing lands isn't that bad. We have Smuggler's Copter. Oh, I actually should have fetched because I have one land I can find in my whole deck. So there's that. Let's play the Copter. Oh, I should have played Plains, because I might want to discard a land, and I don't need double blue. But there's a reason to keep blue in play, which is like, if they wasteland me, then I'll need an extra blue. So it's really hard to say which one I would want. Are they gonna Angrass Rampage my Smuggler's Copter? Wow, they actually are, okay. Goodbye, Copter. Well, now I severely regret getting rid of Gideon. But at least they didn't make me sack my Vanguard. Whoa, not expect Forest. Alright, I think I should be favored in this matchup if they're playing Forests. And Scrubland and Blackleaf Cliffs. Kaya doesn't kill anything I have, okay. Oust Phyrexian Revoker, yikes. Exile target non-land permanent with CMC 1 or less. Let's go ahead and Phyrexian Revoker naming Kaya. I'm guessing they're just playing a bunch of Planeswalkers. I don't even know if I want to name Kaya. I'm gonna name it Johnny Vengeant, because why not? And then we just attack Kaya. The reason for naming a Johnny is like, decks like this always want a Johnny Vengeant, and a Johnny goes pretty late. Like, he's one of the Planeswalkers that people don't take up very highly. I'm not scared of Kaya, but I will kill her. So I just have to name something, and I don't know. This seems like a card that could be appearing somewhere. Karn, Scion of Urza. Okay, that's one to name. They can make a 1/1, I guess. Yeah, that's okay. So now I Council's Judgment the Construct and then kill... Oh, I just oust the Construct. That's even better. And then I kill both Planeswalkers. And I really want to know if they have a Johnny Vengeant in hand, because that would be such a sick name. Ooh, Gideon, ally of Zendikar. I honestly think this sequence is better than playing Gideon. I know it's so mana inefficient, but giving them more Karn activation seems really bad. Force of Will? Pitching Oko? Alright, well, I get to use my mana now. Council Judgment, their Construct. Now you don't gain life. And they have one card in hand. I'm gonna have 3 creatures in play versus, and then play Gideon next turn. Attack Karn, attack Kaya. Force of Will is not something I expected given the lands that they played. I can tell you that much. I think this should be a really good matchup for me. This is one of the more ambitious decks I've ever seen. Is it Toxic Deluge? Oh, that's fine. Well, that's not hitting Gideon. They're gonna play a Johnny Vengeant next turn. I'm gonna be so happy. I'm actually gonna play Gideon before Thalia. There's a chance I play Thalia and lock myself out, and I don't want to deal with that. Hit them for damage. I hope they play a Johnny, just so I know. Elvish Mystic. Darn, no a Johnny. Let's just uptick Gideon and swing out. That's like so much damage. Opponent's going for the cheese. I respect it. Play Thalia, holding up Path. So now there's very few cards they could draw. Damnation doesn't do it. Toxic Deluge does, but they go to 7 and then take 2 off Gideon. Okay, yeah. So they're just playing 5-color Stipulation, which seems fun, but this is the Vryn Wingmare Geist of Saint Traft type deck. I don't think I want Walking Ballista. I don't even know if I want Oust. It's just kind of like weak and slow against some decks. So I could see cutting Oust, putting in Faith's Fetters to deal with their Planeswalkers, because they have Oko and things like that. I have Fractured Identity, Mana Leak, Miscalc. Yeah, let's run it. This hand has quite a few lands, but it's got all powerful spells, so I'll keep it. And it does have a Maria's Call as well. Opponent has a Mox though. Into Gilded Goose. Yeah, that's a play. We'll have 4 mana next turn. So we're gonna fetch up a Tundra, just trying to like make sure we don't draw too many more lands. I'll keep a Maria's Call in hand for as long as possible. That could be incorrect because I might just take 3 unnecessary damage by doing this, but what is their 4 mana 2-drop or turn 2 play? Hydroid Crisis. That's fine. So let's go ahead and just play the Copter, because that deals with Hydroid Crisis. Next turn I can go with Phyrexian Revoker plus a Myriad's Call tapped if I need to. And Revokering the Ruby, especially if they're missing lands, is going to be nice. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Well, you have perfect mana now. But they didn't play a second land, so that tells me they have not much going on in hand. So we go Phyrexian Revoker, naming Mox Ruby. Then we play Colonnade. Do I want to hold back on the Copter, or do I want to get in a hit? I think I'll hold back, actually. They do draw a land, or they just decided not to play it off Dryad, which would be a bit weird, but optional. So they have the same mana they had last turn, which means they can't have good plays because they had 4 mana last turn and just played Dryad, which didn't do anything. No, it could mean they have good plays because they could need blue mana, that's right. They could have Oko here. Yep, they have Oko. So they can turn their Mox into a 3/3. Or they can make a food and then next turn try and steal my Copter. Okay, they moved to combat. Pretty weird, but acceptable. So we Council Judgment, kill Oko. I think that makes more sense than Gideon. Well, let me think about this. If I play Gideon, what happens? Play Gideon, I make a 2/2. He has 4 loyalty. They can turn Gilded Goose into a 3/3 and swing out. I crew the Copter. I block Hydroid Crisis. But Gideon still dies, so I think it does just make more sense to Council's Judgment the Oko. They had Force of Will? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's play this tapped. I can't believe they're running Force of Will in their deck. Fate Their Life, no. I can attack Oko for 3, but I'd rather have defensive options, I think. They're probably going to Oko my Copter or something, or I don't actually know what they're going to do, but we're going to Fractured Identity the Oko and then take over the game that way, I think. Force of Will. It's so weird. Also, I don't even know if it was correct. I think they just let Council's Judgment resolve. They're in a good position. They have Fractured Identity. Oh, that's a reasonable decision as well, making a 5/5. What is his ability? Seems or power 3 or less. Okay. Mox Ruby. Do I want to trade off my Copter? I think I kind of want to. I can't keep taking hits off Mox Ruby. And I think we're going to discard a Danto Vanguard because I need the 5th land for a Fractured Identity, unless I draw another land. Ooh, Path to Exile was perfect. Discard this. So, literally who knows what they could have drawn. Containment Priest. So there's a few options. I can go Gideon plus Path on the Hydroid Crisis, and that sets up for Gideon better. I can Fractured Identity the Oko, but then they just kill Oko by attacking it, most likely. So I actually think Gideon plus Path makes the most sense. And we'll just hold up basic planes here. Create a Knight. Do I Path on upkeep? Am I scared of them drawing counter spells? I can't imagine them running actual factual counter magic in this deck, but I actually have no idea. So I guess I just Path on upkeep. This is one of the weirdest decks I've played against. It's fun though, like I love these games. We Path the Crisis before they draw anything. Alright opponent, you got access to 6 mana and all the colors you could ever dream of. They make the food into a creature, that makes sense. They're attacking me with both currently. Attacking me with both. I'm gonna double block the Dryad. Seems like an only favorable thing. It also kind of mana screws them a little bit. So we're gonna play around literally who knows what in terms of mana tithe and days. Steal your Oko. They concede. Okay. We're in the finals again. Let's see if we get trophy. See you guys there. Alright, here in the finals, playing against Warmac, we get to go first. And we have a keepable hand. It's not the best hand, but it's got Giver of Runes into Phyrexian Revoker plus Rishid Import, and that's like a pretty punishing sequence. We do... So far, Myriad, like I said, it's just overwhelmingly mediocre. I've never even been close to playing it as a spell, and this is kind of why there was like a draft a while ago where I didn't put this in my deck, and people were like, but Caleb, it's free. And I'm like, well, you lose 3 life, and the odds of me actually casting it are almost 0, so it's not actually free. What do I do here? I guess I Rishid Import and just start attacking. Like I go Rishid Import this turn, and then Phyrexian Revoker or Rishid Import next turn. Plus Celestial Colonnade. Okay, they play Savannah, so that tells me what's going on a little bit. Okay, I can Skyclave Apparition, there's really no reason to. Play Colonnade, attack for 1 again. I think it still just makes sense to Rishadan port. Kind of just saving a Revoker to be a little bit more reactive if they play like a Wall of Roots or something. Or a Mox Pearl, perfect. Sakura Tribell there. You got it. Yeah, I think it makes sense to Phyrexian Revoker plus Smuggler's Copter instead of play Gideon here. Especially because I can protect them with Giver. Mox Pearl. And for those wondering, Skyclave Apparition... Oh, I guess you can Skyclave Apparition a Mox. I, for some reason, thought you couldn't, but I guess that's a different card. I think that's the one that steals permanence with Kicker. I just realized they got a Mountain. Everyone's playing like ambitious mana against me. Alright, Sacred Foundry, what do you got? Look at my beautiful mana base, by the way. All non-basics. Okay. Oracle's a bit frightening. Oust is the actual perfect draw. So they can't mana tithe, so let's just go Gideon. Oust. Gideon makes a knight. The knight crews the Copter. Attack for 5. Oh, oh boy. What do I like more? I don't think they're gonna like seeing this, but we're gonna discard Teferi Time Raveler. What could possibly be in my hand? Kind of regret that activation, but I think basically they're just gonna play a thing. I'm gonna Skyclave it. I'm gonna have Giver of Runes back on defense. Oh, perfect. Well, I don't have Giver of Runes back on defense now, but oh, interesting. Okay, I guess that works. So now I get to go. Can I kill them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can put them to 1, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's a 5, 5. Wait, that's 11, 12 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13 damage. Something like that. We're just short though, basically, is what I'm saying. So let's Skyclave Apparition the Skyclave Apparition. And we win. Okay. Into the finals. I'm seeing some things that make me want to bring in like Libra Dawnbringer, Baneslayer, Gideon, Linvala. Probably getting rid of Thalia, although they do have some things that's good against. They have Walking Ballista. Geist is not great against them. Miscalc is kind of medium. I guess, honestly, I might just get rid of Mana Leak as well. Lets me add another Plains. Or by CMC. I do want Walking Ballista with this higher land count. So in with Walking Ballista, out with Tithe Taker. Kind of want Faith's Fetter's Elish Norn, but I think we're good as it is. Yeah, this hand seems quite good. Let's just hope they don't have any like busted Mox starts. Like it's just kind of slow. Their mana's not great, so they could mulligan. They did mulligan. Get rid of the upkeep stop. This is the exact same start. I wish I had Wasteland so badly in this deck. Go Thraben. I might fetch with Misty. The thing is, if I fetch a Tundra and then they Wasteland me, I'm going to feel really sad. So I think we're going to go with Misty. We're going to hit for 1. And then I can fetch my mana at end of turn to crack the clue and then untap and play Teferi. And then I don't really need that much blue mana anymore. Ooh, Teferi's really good against Mox Diamond too. Bloodbraid Elf Cascade into Selesnya Signet. Sure. And they revealed Ravages. Okay, so there's some weird aggressive type deck thing going on. So I can path the Bloodbraid Elf, but I don't think I like that too much. Actually that might work out. We path Bloodbraid Elf and then Teferi bounces Mox Diamond. And then I don't take any damage here. If I wasn't trying to protect Teferi, I wouldn't do this. Tundra. I guess the other option is to just bounce Bloodbraid Elf with Teferi because they can't, they actually don't get the Cascade, which is kind of fun. Bounce Mox Diamond. Draw Absent, that's pretty good. I'll attack for 1. No, we'll protect Teferi. If they attack with Stirring Wildwood, I might chump. Courser's fine. Elspeth Conquers Death. CMC 3 or greater. So they can hit Teferi. But then I can Fractured Identity their Elspeth Conquers Death, which will be pretty fun. Unfortunately, I can't get back my own Teferi that way, though. Okay. We can uptick Teferi. Go Plains. I can unexpectedly absent Selesnya Signet and then oust Courser, which I think I like doing. So this goes on top. And then this goes just below it. quite beautiful, honestly. And next turn, we have Fractured Identity available if we want to. So we know they're drawing, it is a Signet. No, they have another spell? Stop. Oh, they're just activating the Wildwood. Okay, that's fine. Yep. We block. Kind of unfortunate, because it would have been nice to like bounce the Thraben and then, ooh, Giver Runes. Let's go Vanguard. Uptick with Teferi. See, I'm taking 3 off of Maria's Call again. I'm nowhere near playing it either. Play Giver. And then I can crack the Clue as well. So they draw a Courser of Crufix this turn. And then Elspeth Conquers Death is on top. We just literally had the double white Time Walk. Well, they have another spell. Okay. Absent of Vanguard. Sure. We just keep time walking each other. I'm kind of okay with that. So we're going to trade into Fairy for something. Ooh, maybe not. I don't want them to Elspeth Conquers Death my Gideon. So let's uptick to Fairy. This is kind of baiting them into casting ECD onto Fairy, and then I can Fractured Identity their Elspeth Conquers Death. If things go well, there's a lot of ways this could go poorly. Hitting land off the top with Courser I don't love. But this looks like they're just going to cast it, so nice. So that happens. And I Fractured Identity their Elspeth Conquers Death while they cannot respond to anything. This is quite the interaction. Eat their Courser, we lose our Teferi. Then we can play Gideon, which is the card we wanted all along. And their spells are more expensive. Let's actually play kind of like double spelling here with this Gideon. This Gideon is going to give you lifelink, hit for 1, play Vanguard, and then I can play the other Gideon. The thing I like about ticking this one up is that I can ultimate it to eat stuff. I feel like they want Stirring Wildwood back on defense, but they can do this too if they want. This seems like not the best idea, but we'll take it. We'll take it. This gives us Thraben Inspector. They probably just concede, honestly. And we go land, crack the Clue before playing Gideon. They could have Mana Tithe. Sure, play Gideon. This one will give you lifelink. Gideon makes a knight. Crack our Clue. Honestly, maybe should have cracked it before playing Gideon. So we swing here. Yeah, I'll have Giver Runes protect stuff. I don't know. It kind of makes sense. We did it. Is that game? Is that match? We did it. Wow, that was a really fast trophy. I mean, this deck was unbelievably good. I don't think I lost a single game. Yeah, the clean 3060. I mean, I don't know. I've been drafting this blue-white deck a lot, and I just like never had good draws to trophy with it. This is about as good as you can get with the deck without having power. Yeah, we had no power. Just a lot of solid cards. Fractured Identity being insane. Teferi being absurd. Gideon, the more I play with him, the higher I evaluate him as far as like vintage Q power. He's really good. You play him, he wins the game on his own. It's so strong. And then obviously Council Judgment and Skyclave Apparition did good stuff too. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.